We are following breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Memphis' James Wiseman withdraws the lawsuit against the NCAA, trying to move toward resolution in an eligibility case. However, Memphis has him announcing today ruled out as ineligible. The five-star freshman, again, withdrawing his lawsuit against the NCAA, but his future as of right now has some doubt. Memphis' next game is Saturday at Alcorn State. This after the news on Friday that had him unable to play. Did go against Illinois, Chicago, then played Tuesday against Oregon. And in 3 seasons played, or rather 3 games played this season, he's averaging there 19.7 per game. He's a 7-foot guy, considered as the top prospect in the NBA draft. And again, there is news that James Wiseman, again, withdrawing his lawsuit today. And with more in terms of James Wiseman, let's turn to our college basketball insider, Gary Parrish, who has been covering this story for us throughout the day as well. Gary, what's the latest here with James Wiseman? What more can you tell us?
Well, I reported last night, according to sources, that the NCAA and the University of Memphis, obviously working alongside the attorneys representing James Wiseman, had all come to a realization that it was in everybody's best interest to try to resolve this situation rather than proceed with a very high-profile and contentious lawsuit that is obviously risky to different levels for each party. And so here we are. James Wiseman formally withdrew the lawsuit he filed last Friday against the NCAA in Memphis this morning, and then the University of Memphis within minutes subsequently announced that they have ruled him ineligible and are now applying for reinstatement. And you don't have to be an NCAA insider to understand that all of this stuff has been coordinated since I started hearing it last night. The next step will be for Memphis and the NCAA to agree on a punishment, and I'm told that they are close to doing that. It will probably include some sort of restitution, a charitable donation to cover the $11,500 that the NCAA has labeled an impermissible benefit, the money that Penny Hardaway gave to James Wiseman's mother for, quote, moving expenses back in the summer of 2017 before he was the Memphis head coach. The reason that is a NCAA violation is because Penny Hardaway was a Memphis booster. So in the simplest terms, at that time, you had a Memphis booster providing an impermissible benefit to a recruitable student athlete who subsequently enrolled at the school for which that person is a booster. Again, undeniable NCAA violation. So now we wait. Memphis will withhold James Wiseman from competition for the time being and hopefully resolve this in what they have described a fair and equitable manner.
All right, our Gary Parrish again laying out sort of what's the hang-up, how we got here, did so very eloquently. So you had mentioned sort of the two sides getting together. We anticipate that there will be some resolution, some type of punishment. If there is to be some type of snag, what's your understanding of what could be potentially a hurdle?
Well, honestly, the fact that they've gotten this far and the lawsuit has been withdrawn and Memphis has done what the NCAA asked it to do initially suggests, just from a common sense perspective, but also according to sources I've talked with, that they're close on this. And by close, I mean the issues might already be resolved. It's just a matter of formally getting into writing and announcing it. I would expect some sort of announcement before Saturday's tip-off. And it will include, again, based on NCAA history, a repayment of the impermissible benefit to a charity and some sort of game suspension, whether that's 4 games, 6 games, 9 games, or something more excessive, is obviously up for debate because the NCAA can rule in these manners in whatever ways they want. And though history shows that a 9-game suspension would be most likely, given the amount of money that was exchanged here, the truth is this is such an unusual set of circumstances that lawyers could reasonably argue the punishment could be less. Because typically when we're dealing with a case that involves a booster providing an impermissible benefit to the family member of a student athlete, it is to get that student athlete to enroll at that school. in reality, what happened here is Penny Hardaway provided what is now deemed an impermissible benefit to James Wiseman's family, but it wasn't necessarily to get him to go to the University of Memphis. It was to get him to go to East High School, where Penny Hardaway was coaching at the time. Penny Hardaway was trying to use James Wiseman to win a state championship, not go to a Final Four at the time. It's just that he subsequently got the Memphis job, and then this student athlete followed him to the University of Memphis.
All right, again, Memphis' next game Saturday at Alcorn State. So for the time being, Gary, where does this leave Memphis on the court? Where does this leave Penny Hardaway?
Well, they're obviously a different team without James Wiseman on the court. He did not play in the exhibitions. They looked okay at best. He has played in the 3 regular season games, and though they are 2-1 with a loss in Portland to a top 15 Oregon team, the truth is that they have looked respectable and worthy of their national ranking. If you look at the schedule, Alcorn State shouldn't be a problem with or without James Wiseman, but certainly they've got non-league games coming up against Ole Miss, against NC State, against Tennessee, and if you're Penny Hardaway, you would like to have your best player and arguably the most talented player in America on the court for those. Again, we'll wait for the NCAA ruling on that, but the truth is this is a great development for the University of Memphis, because I know that the school was being applauded nationally for fighting the NCAA because there's such an anti-NCAA sentiment throughout this nation right now. But the truth is, unless James Wiseman was able to win this in court, and history says that was a long shot, Memphis was going to find itself someday dealing with a notice of allegations from the NCAA for playing defiantly an ineligible player throughout the 2019-20 season. That could have led to vacating this season, postseason bans in the future, scholarship reductions, recruiting restrictions, monetary fines, a suspension for the head coach. There's really no limit what the NCAA could have done to Memphis if they continued on this path, if it wanted to do it to Memphis. Now, in a more sensible manner, this will be handled, and it won't be the best thing in the world for James Wiseman. He's a basketball player. He wants to play every game. But big picture, this is the best thing for Memphis, and I actually do believe the best thing for the NCAA as well, because you don't want this issue hanging over your season all season long. Memphis and Oregon played a nationally televised game 2 nights ago, and the main storyline wasn't that it was 2 top 15 teams. It was that James Wiseman was playing in defiance of the NCAA. It's best for the NCAA to not have that storyline extend, and now it looks like it will not extend too much deeper into the season.
All right, our Gary Parrish delivering the breaking news again, saying the developments with James Wiseman with Memphis, their odds are looking a little bit better. Memphis, according to Sportsline, currently a little more 7-1 to make the Final Four, and at last check 20-1 to win the national title. Our thanks to Gary Parrish again with the breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Gary, thank you very much.